So I just made this oven baked clay mold that I will be using for sand casting, and I just used a flathead screwdriver to actually, do the face and everything. And you can see that's handmade, but I think that's part of the charm because it is supposed to be a sonichu medallion. And I will show you how to cast this out of pewter. And you can hear Caspian whining in the background. He wants my attention. The stove is on and it is beginning to melt. You can see it's red hot and smoking a little bit because I think some of the old rubber is still on there. I couldn't get it all off. But once it melts, which I will show in just a little bit, I can cast it, or you can cast it if you end up making something like this. It is almost melted, and you can see it was engraved with the name Brian. It was an old tanker cup with a glass bottom. I took out the glass bottom and I'm melting it down. I don't think it was any good when I got it. And I'll show you when it's fully melted. Now it is fully melted. I have just removed the slag off of it. There's still plenty of slag in there. I will not be getting all of it, sadly, because there's just too much in the pan and I don't want to remove too much aluminum. I'm okay with a little bit of slag on top of my castings because it's just for me. So next, what I will do is I will pour it after I press it in the mold, and I'll show you pressing it in the mold. I have baked the cursed relic. As you can see, it is hard now, and I will be pressing it into the sand, and this will be the first step in sand casting it. So I will press it in the sand just like this. You don't want to press it in all the way if you make it really thick like I did, because I always make them overly thick. You don't want too thick of a pendant or you're never going to want to wear it because it's going to be too heavy. Pewter is a heavier metal. It's a healthy, non-toxic metal as long as it's lead-free, which almost all modern pewter is, but it is definitely a more heavy metal compared to something like aluminum. See, there's the imprint, and we are going to pour that in just a second. Now that that's poured in, I will pause it and I will show you the cleanup. It is just out of the sand and it is still very hot, so I think it does have a little bit of a glow. I think the camera actually picks it up better than I can actually see it, but pewter when it's hot does have a very coppery color to it until it cools down all the way, from what I've seen at least. And then once it cools down all the way, it looks more silvery. At first I thought I was burning my pewter because I was like, why is it always coming out so bright red when I pull it out? But then it would cool and then I realized, oh, it's fine. But yeah, so all I have to do now is I have to drill that hole again because I made the hole mark on the other one, but I'm pretty sure it did go all the way through. It almost never does with sand casting on a 1-part mold. And then we have to take the diagonal cutters and simply just cut back the excess. And I will show you guys kind of how that works as much as possible. So now all you have to do is you have to cut where there is too much on the sides, and then I will show you the drilling. So take your hand drill and you will want to drill right through the hole because it doesn't go all the way through usually with the sand casting, and then I will show you the last couple steps. So now you have your hole, you just want to file all the edges around the sides where you cut, see, because they're a little bit sharp. And then you want to file the back of where the hole was that you drilled. And then you'll have it done. And I will show you the finished piece and how to neutralize its power if you want to no longer have the curse of the sonichu medallion. So I filed down the edges smooth, see they're no longer sharp. They're nice and smooth, and I filed the back. And then you have a full pendant. You can put a cord on, because there's a nice hole through it, and you can wear a sonichu medallion. And if you want to neutralize its power, just drop it in the melting pot and melt it. Please subscribe and like the video if you liked it. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!